These seem so short in comparison, don't they?
Yeah.
Okay. Now we get into the ventral view. Okay, this is your ventral view. Alright, I'm going to start at the bottom. Here's your spinal cord. This line that cuts the spinal cord in half is your ventral medial fissure. So you're in the ventral view, it's in the middle of the brain, and it's a fissure, which is a line. As you go up that fissure, you're going to hit this part of the brain, and those are your pyramids. It can even be out here, it doesn't have to be right in the middle. It's just this part right here of the brain. It's kind of where the spinal cord is not so elongated. It's this fatter area, I guess you could say. Okay. As you get up, this bulge, this bulgy area, it looks like two bumps, are your pons. Now these black, off-colored, string-looking things, those are your abducens nerves. Right under on the side of your pons, if you take your pons and then go down, is your trigeminal nerve. And I'll show you guys a good one next week. So you have your trigeminal nerve, and one way to differentiate the two is your abducens nerves are the stringy things. Your trigeminals are a piece of your brain. I guess that's a good way for you to remember it. Okay. On the side of your corpus cerebelli, this is your flocculus. So if you keep going down pons, trigeminal nerve, flocculus. Or you know this is your corpus cerebelli, so your flocculus is on the bottom of it. Okay, going up, you have your interpeduncular fossa. So it's going to be that line right here. So your interpeduncular fossa. The area surrounding it, so interpeduncular fossa, again. These flakes or growths are your ocular motor nerves. And they disentouch. Around it, so underneath your ocular motor nerves and on the outside of your interpeduncular fossa is your cerebral peduncles. So if you can remember interpeduncular fossa, peduncles, cerebral peduncles. So you know that it has to be around it. This is your mammillary body. Now around your mammillary body right here is your tuber serinium. So it's right outside the cerebral peduncles, but above the mammillary body. And then this hole, the top one, is your infundibulum. Alright, now we get to the optic area. You have your optic tract, which is the bottom part, your optic chiasm, where it meets, and then your optic nerve. On this side, this part of the brain where it bulges up is your hippocampal gyrus. So it's such a big part of the brain that if you can identify that that's the gyrus, you're not going to get it confused with anything else. Okay. Alright, as you get up, and as you know, since that's the hippocampal gyrus, this line right here is your rhinal fissure. Since you already identified that it was above the hippocampal gyrus, and it's on both sides. Okay, above the optic nerve is your anterior perforated substance. So it's going to be right above the optic nerve. You then get, this is your olfactory bulb again. Right under the olfactory bulb where the bulb meets the brain is your lateral olfactory gyrus. Then right next to it is going to be your lateral olfactory stria.
Which is a line. Correct.
It's that area that it's between the anterior perforated substance and the lateral olfactory gyrus. Okay. You can think of, since this is like a flap, this is, see how it's like built up like the hippocampal gyrus? it's going to be a gyrus. Whereas the stria is just a discoloration on the outside. You can think of it as a line. It'll help you differentiate the two. Alright, already said that this was the olfactory bulb. This is your longitudinal fissure again, right here. So the area between the longitudinal fissure and your olfactory bulb is your medial olfactory gyrus. You can think of it, it's in the middle. It's next to your olfactory bulb, and it's part of the brain, which is a gyrus. Alright, you have your frontal lobe, your temporal lobe, and your occipital lobe. Your parietal lobe isn't in this view since it's on the bottom of the brain, the ventral view. And I believe that's it. Yeah, and your longitudinal fissure goes all the way down until optic tract. So it can be all the way up here or all the way down here. But since you already know that that's the longitudinal fissure, you won't get it confused with anything else. So yeah, that's it.